Shopping, 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 shopping. Hello, I'm Notes, and I have an update in terms of all the albums that I have bought over the past couple of months. Every season I do this, so I figured now that we're about halfway into fall, I figured I'd talk to you guys about some of the albums that I've picked up over the past couple of months. So starting us all off, we have 1984 by Anthony Phillips, ex-guitarist from Genesis. This is the guy that came into the band just before Stephen Hackett. And I really like his playing style. I love the fact that he is very acoustic in a lot of his sounds. But with 1984, I felt, I don't know, a lot of prog artists who go solo do a 1984 album. And the weirdest part is about this type of an album, the music's always happy. It's very optimistic. I always wonder about that. And the same is found in here. You have the prelude, you have the whole suite, the 1984 part 1 and 2, and then you have the anthem of 1984. So the music on here is actually really good. I really enjoy it. But in terms of the overall concept of 1984, like, I don't know, it doesn't quite adequately give you what I was hoping for. Still a great find, still a great listen, and yeah, I really enjoy that one. So next up, because the United States Thanksgiving is coming up and us Canadians, we already had ours a couple weeks ago, I figured it's finally time to pick up Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant. I love this album. I love the song. If you know it, it's basically a very long joke. It's a really long story, and I love this kind of song. It's a really big hit. My dad quotes it all the time, so I figured, I found it in a bargain bin. It was like $2, and so it's a great album. I like to listen to it around Thanksgiving and this time anyway, so it kind of just adds to it. Next up, we have Who's Next by The Who. This is one of my favorite Who albums. I love the whole second side of this. It is just amazing, the second side of this album. Not discounting the first side. It starts off strong with Bubba O'Reilly, the Teenage Wasteland, but it's really the second side that I love on this album. And actually, it took me until I was like in university or even later that I realized they had all urinated on the monolith here, so, you know, just a little bit of an added joy. Next up, we have another Renaissance album. I've been trying to collect these guys for a while now, early and mid progressive rock with a female lead singer. It's very, very rare to have a female lead singer within a progressive rock group, so whenever I find something like that, I latch onto it and don't let go. I think there needs to be a much bigger, prominent female presence in progressive rock, and I'm shocked that we still don't have that. So I'm glad that Renaissance was here to kind of say, look, this is something that can happen and it should happen. So whenever I find one, and the music is amazing. It's so good. Ashes Are Burning, which is this album here, really started their career in terms of like that really big progressive movement. And so, you know, I'm getting close to completing my collection, so that really helped out. Another used gem, which is Supertramp's Paris, my favorite live album from the group. This was right after they released Breakfast in America, and so a lot of those songs are on here, but I also love the fact that they delve pretty deep into Crime of the Century, Crisis, What Crisis, and even In the Quietest Moments. I love the fact that Fool's Overture is here in its entirety, and a lot of my favorite Supertramp songs like Hide in Your Shell and Asylum, both of those guys are on this, and they're great live performances. The cuts are fantastic, and it's a really great treat. If you're a fan of Supertramp like I am, you need to pick this up because it's a great addition to your collection. I'm one step closer in completing my Pink Floyd collection. I found Animals finally on vinyl. I'm so disappointed that the band hasn't released it again on vinyl, and they only stuck to their major 3 albums of The Wall, Wish You Were Here, and Dark Side. I was really hoping that they would re-release this guy. Animals is a great, great album. I like the fact that more people know about Animals as well. So that's it in terms of the older used albums. The rest are all brand new, and there's 4 of them here. And first off, I've already talked about this, but it's Moloch by Gazpacho. This was the album that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to it. That's a really good way to put this. Still getting used to this album. Not quite their best effort, but still one that begs to be listened to. Next up, and I almost surprised myself by picking this guy up, but I really wanted to own this, just so that I can really appreciate it. I've been listening to this album for a while now in preparation for finally viewing it, and once I get that review, you can view it here. And it's Coheed and Cambria. This group has been suggested to me over and over and over again. At first, it really wasn't quite my jam. It reminded me a lot of the music that was listened to in high school. It's that same kind of a flavor. Almost emo. I recall a lot of movements from My Chemical Romance, but a little bit more on the gritty side, not quite on the more polished side, which was more of the side that I liked. I liked more of the polished side. And I'm actually enjoying it. I'm really getting into it. It's a different sound than I'm used to, and so I kind of like the different. And that's what this guy is for. And I love the fact that it was relatively inexpensive. It was under $20, and I got the full CD with it too. So the next two are two related ones, and they're not necessarily new, but they're new releases. It's newer albums. And the first one we have is the soundtrack to Beetlejuice, and following that is the soundtrack to Edward Scissorhands. I love Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman is one of my favorite composers. This is one of my favorite scores of all time. I can't listen to this without getting moved in some ways. And Beetlejuice, really, this is my childhood right here. I loved Beetlejuice. I loved the animated series of Beetlejuice. And the songs on it really recapture my childhood. It just brings me that nostalgic joy that I love. So both of these I found and I had to pick them up. They're both fantastic soundtracks. Finally, rounding this all up is one of my favorite albums from the Mars Volta, and that is Octahedron. I feel like this album doesn't really get the love that it deserves. It was the first time that they really tried a more acoustic sound, which is really odd because coming off of the street and listening to this without hearing anything else by the band, you would think this is their acoustic stuff? What the hell does their non-acoustic stuff sound like? Well, if you heard of any of their other stuff, you would know. This is relatively acoustic compared to their other works, and I love so many songs off of this album. The way that it starts off with Since We've Been Wrong really hits you hard, and I've always been trying to find this album, but it's always been a ridiculous price. It's always been like $40, $50, or even $60. So when I found this for relatively inexpensive, it was actually marked wrong, and so when I brought it up to the till, it was like $10 or $15 less than it should have been. But luckily they let it go for me, and I'm so grateful that they did, because this album really begs to be listened to by anybody that likes music. That's all that I have to show for this update of my vinyls. So let me know what you guys thought. What was your favorite album out of the bunch that I got? So thank you guys so much for watching. I love doing these vinyl updates because, as you can tell, I have a problem when it comes to buying vinyl. And yeah, so that's it until my next vinyl update in the wintertime. All right, notes out.